in some spots. Williamsport reporting heavy snow this past hour. Up to Binghamton, they've had record snowfall so far this year. We'll be adding to that total. In Hartford, it hasn't arrived as of yet, but we're expecting maybe about 2 inches of snow for you today, and that would put you up over the top, and that would be a new record snowfall for the season for Hartford, Connecticut, so we'll keep an eye on that. Snow's tapering off here, but we have as much as 4 to 7 inches in northern lower Michigan. Should be seeing the tail end of that and hopefully a little bit of a warm-up. Then we see some light rain in Arizona and the Northwest. Where's it all going for the weekend? We'll tell you coming up. We'll give you the forecast, and we'll even take you to about mid next week. So, as Dennis had mentioned, this is our first weekend of spring. It comes in officially on Sunday, so I guess we're still okay to have some snow on the map for Friday afternoon. Yes, once again, another round of snow coming in. New York City just starting to see the snow now, and Hartford is waiting. This may push them up over their record for the season, which would be somewhere around they've had just to probably get an inch or two. And on to Boston, but look how quickly it moves out. Little Clipper, they're in at 4 inches of snow. Most locations we may see a couple get up to 6, mainly maybe the mountains of Pennsylvania. The front clears Georgia, which really won't cool things down at all. We'll have a nice day down through here. This front, however, put a squeeze on our heat wave that we've had out here in the plains, and it may even help to bring some snow back to you in Utah by Saturday afternoon. Colorado, you may get it late Saturday and into Sunday. Kind of hard to believe when you look at current temperatures or afternoon highs expected today. 60s and 50s, so another gorgeous ski day in the west. Bring the sunscreen if you're headed out that direction. It does look like it'll start to cool off over the weekend, but we'll be bouncing back and forth over the next few days. A lot of 70s really spreading out across the south, and spring breakers in Florida and Texas will be happier today as temperatures are warming up. It was a little cool in Florida perhaps yesterday, a lot more 70s and 80s, so this looks good. The Northeast stuck with the snow and the cool temperatures. Saturday still doesn't look great. We do expect it to warm up again in the plains and the warmth to try to sneak into Ohio, but it does look like we'll be stuck with about seasonable or even below normal temperatures in the Northeast. Meanwhile, that next front, as I mentioned, trying to put the squeeze on our heat wave, brings the 30s and the 40s back to the central Colorado mountains. Not really a cold wave here, but we'll stick with 40s once it comes through, and it should really kind of stretch things out and bring us to seasonable temperatures for the first part of next week. Next front coming along drags 20s back in, so 20s and 30s behind it, 70s and 80s out ahead of it. It's pretty interesting in March. Things can change very quickly. A good weekend in the east, but our next storm system is approaching. That means out here in the plains, you may see some thunderstorms onto the Mississippi Valley on Monday, and then off to the east coast, while a new storm system comes into the west with rain and more snow possibly for the Rockies.
The new look at a dependable weather forecasts 24 hours a day.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Jill Brown and Dennis Smith with you. Jimmy Morrell is our director, and we have winter to tell you about. We're sick of it. Spring comes in on Sunday, but in the meantime, we have at least one more round of snow coming through. This is just since yesterday evening. They've actually had more than 6 inches in parts of northern Minnesota, right along the border of North Dakota. And then down through Michigan, 4 to 7 inches reported here, and it's just starting now in Pennsylvania. So here we go. 2 inches have fallen in Detroit, Houghton Lake 4 inches, and Traverse City 5. You're probably about on the tail end of it now, as the additional snow is more likely to fall in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and it is headed for southern New England. Hasn't come in as of yet. Let's take a look at the satellite picture right now. We'll roll this into motion. You can see our little wound-up storm system here. It looks pretty impressive. Already the clouds into New England and a little stripe of rain coming down around Norfolk, Virginia, and down to about Charlotte. They've had some showers. It looks very impressive here. Now, we haven't had reports of big thunderstorms, even though it looks like it. This may be coming in a little bit more impressive looking than it actually is. But you'll get some rain. Elizabeth City coming in towards Fayetteville, and Cape Hatteras probably see a quick round of rain. It's moving eastward very quickly, actually. And then up towards D.C. and Baltimore, it's cold enough that they've had some light snow, a lot of that not showing up on radar. And across Pennsylvania, we've actually had some heavy snow. Williamsport this past hour, Bradford within the last hour and a half, and again, the snow just coming into southern New England. So Danbury has the snow, and once Hartford gets it, we may end up with as much as 2 to 3 inches for you in Hartford, and that would probably push you up over the record for the snowiest season on record, about 82.5 inches, somewhere like that. Okay, back to the west end. Michigan, seeing the snow, trying to move on out of here, and hopefully get you to a little bit of a warm-up over the weekend. We'll get to that in a moment. So we back out, we see that's really the only game in town. A little snowstorm here, moving in and out quickly. Behind it, it's still nice in the plain, but we'll keep an eye on this front. That may kind of squash our little heat wave that we've had going the last few days. But it's warm again today in the meantime. 75 already in Oklahoma City, and look at Dallas, 78 degrees. It has been gorgeous in Colorado. They've been skiing with temperatures in the 60s, and Denver has been in the 70s last couple of days. You may be fighting to get up to 70 today, but still, I don't think we'll hear too many complaints through Colorado. Little snow possibly on the way for the weekend. Here's how it looks. Front coming in, a little light rain and snow to the north, and we have some moisture streaming in from the south, and they're getting some very, very light rains in Arizona. More of that perhaps to come in the next couple of days. Let's check it out with our forecast. Friday afternoon's map shows that front to the north, and again, the moisture trying to come into the south. A lot more clouds than anything else. But if you're in Los Angeles or San Diego, you may get a couple of sprinkles this afternoon or Saturday, so we'll keep an eye out on that. And good news, snow through today, but as we head towards and the east, no big heat wave for you up where you're getting the snow, but we'd like to see it on the way out nonetheless, and hopefully temperatures will at least get up above freezing, so we'll begin to see that snow starting to slowly melt down without causing too many flooding problems. Alrighty, precipitation expected. Pretty light actually in the east. The heavier stuff is here in Pacific Northwest. So Seattle down to Medford, you may get a ½ inch to possibly even an inch of precipitation. Now, if that's in the mountains, that's going to be heavy snow, and winter storm warnings have been out in the Cascades of Washington. They've been expecting over a foot of snow, so we'll be watching for some reports out of there. Meanwhile, it is springtime. It seems like a few days early. In Texas, temperatures in the 80s today, and those 80s stretching on over to Florida, where Orlando was in the low 70s yesterday. Hang on to the warmth until that front comes through, and that knocks temperatures down a notch or so. So in Colorado, if we get you back into the 30s and 40s, there's also the chance of a little bit of snow. Possibly some snow earlier, of course, in Utah, as their temperatures will be dropping a little bit. So not brutal cold if you're going to head out here skiing, but some fresh powder. So after a few days of warm weather with melting snow, I think that would actually be good news. The warm up into Ohio, we thought maybe 60s, but now it looks more likely to be 50s on Sunday and Monday for you in Cleveland and also Columbus. So hang in there. We're in springtime here next week, so that must mean something good. We should see gradually a warm-up the next few weeks to come. A dry weekend in the east, and again, mild temperatures to the south, a little chilly to the north, but at least we can hold the rain off through Sunday. So Chicago, you should have a pretty decent weekend. Chance of snow your first day of spring in International Falls and over towards Fargo, but it's more likely to be light showers around Minneapolis with thunderstorms to the south. This whole mess pulling eastward day by day. Once it moves out, there's another storm coming in behind it. Needed precipitation in the west. Looks like we'll have a little bit more. Coming up next here on the Weather Channel, we want to take you over to Europe to check and see if they're having any spring-like weather. So that leaves Italy, Spain, and Portugal pretty much in the clear. The same is true of the coast of France, so they should have some pretty nice weather. Let's check it out. Forecast midday on Saturday shows that storm heading on over through Poland with rain and then a little snow up through the Baltic states. Hopefully clearing out in London, though, and then south of the front looks pretty good, a 60s.